What up, everybody? What's cracking? Happy Saturday. UFC Louisville, UFC KFC. We've been calling it the KFC card all the last month and a half. Thanks, everybody, for popping in. Shouldn't be too long of a show. Not too much going on with Strike. We do got a few things to touch on there. Probably go over a couple of the outstanding items we're missing. And we'll take a look at the marketplace just to see kind of how things are going, because pretty interesting territory that we're in these days. But glad to see everybody popping in this fine morning, evening, wherever you're at. Could be afternoon too, like for me. But thanks everybody for popping in. What up, Fritzel? Del Boy in the house. Wandering Nook in the house. Nice to see everybody. Yeah, our balls definitely be hot, bro. They were ice cold yesterday, though. Tough. Perez boys in the house. Watch out for them giveaways. Let's start this first one real quick. We'll do the good old TFSP in the chat. Don't forget, y'all, hit that thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel. Gonna give away some fandoms today. Before we get into it, let me get my screen shared. Hell yeah. A couple people already started getting their merch, man. Some of the people I think either on the West Coast, maybe. I don't know. Some people already got their stuff early, but shout out to everybody who bought some merch. Champ Raffles Live. Let me get in Discord here real quick so we could just touch on that real fast. Pick'ems, obviously. Pick'ems are still live in Discord. If you haven't already, we got a $25 UFC store gift card for the first place finisher, $10 gift card for the second place finisher, passed forward by Del Boy and DeRusio from last week. They won those. They passed them forward to this week, so shout out to them guys. Appreciate that. Pick'ems are still alive, so you got a few hours left to get those in. Don't forget to holler at those. Click that button, and you're in. Pro Pick'ems, we got pretty decent. We've been having pretty decent turnout for the Pro Pick'ems. All you got to do is submit one rare to the pot, and then like 65% of the pot goes to first place, 25% goes to second place, 10% or whatever's left over goes to third place. I haven't taken nothing from the Pro Pick'ems, but we've been starting to get a little bit more participation, which is nice to see, and it's a little fun way to spice up the Pick'ems. So that's that. Champ Raffles live. Lexa Grasso Champ Raffles going till next Friday. So we got, let me pull that up real quick. We got 287 entries so far into the raffle. You could get in the raffle by either trading in moments like before. We got how much each moment's worth. Or you could buy a t-shirt or a hoodie on the shop, and that automatically gets you 25 entries to the raffle. We're raffling off this Alexa Grasso champion next week on the show. So make sure you tune in. Next week, somebody is winning a champion Grasso number 26. And good luck to everybody who participated. Thanks to everybody who made some purchases on the shop. Couple people already got their shirts. There you go, Mr. Perez. Guys, yesterday's rocking it today. Me too. Let's get it, baby. Let's get it. But yeah, so that's what's going on in my server. Strike server. Take a look here. Let's take a look. So we have community challenges, no real actual challenges this week. So 4 community challenge. First one is for 10 Fresh Faces base packs. Second one is for 10 Tough base packs. Third one's for 10 mic drop packs. And challenge number 4 is for 3 UFC 303 pay-per-view codes. Challenge number 4 being Ngannou champion. So if you got an Ngannou champion, you're in the pool for those pay-per-view codes. And these other 3 challenges, few moments from Maple Rush Epic, UFC Vegas 93, and Louisville. So Take a look at that. It's in this community challenges channel. Don't forget to check those out for this week. But yeah, that's pretty much in Discord. Win balls is hot. So Alex did give an update. So here we go. Definitely will be destroying it next week due to an error during minting. Our POC for minting issues was Triple O out of office last week. Apologies for not updating sooner, but been a bit busy here in Louisville. So looks like balls are dropping next week, unfortunately. We were hoping it was Friday. That's what he said, but I guess, I guess they ran into some issues. Bit of a bummer, but it is what it is. Let's go over here. So last week we had the challenge for Islam's champion, and Chaos Williams is, I think it's an uncommon or a rare. I forgot what it was. I know it's out of 1,000. It's an uncommon. It's out of 1,000. We had 72 people complete the Islam, which was nice. So that means Strike is only going to hold a few of them. So it's really in the hands of us how this moment's going to kind of hold its own on the marketplace, because there's really not many that are going to be dropping in the future. And we're kind of in some unprecedented territory with Strike. I think we were at a pretty rough part maybe 2-3 months ago. I'd say maybe we were at rock bottom. Who knows? We could go lower. You never know. But because it looks like we're kind of bouncing up a little bit, especially on certain stuff. Especially on certain stuff that I would say collectors have, like challenge rewards. I'll be honest. Challenge rewards are being used in challenges, and it's producing good results in regards to the rewards being valuable, as well as it's giving the stuff that we've held or people holding S1 fandoms. Those fandom moments are starting, those lower like 500 and less fandom moments are starting to get play in these challenges, play in the right way. Not like, how it used to be where it'd be like a really strong moment matched up with like 4 or 5, like either hold this guy that costs $100 or you could burn 5 commons instead. Now the balance is a little bit better, and I think it's being reflected in the marketplace. They're making the right decisions here with the challenges, at least. So we'll take a look at some stuff that popped. Obviously, the Gaethje Epic was the big bottleneck for the people who went the path 2 of burning. I'm only going to cover the path 2. So let's take a look here at path 2. Stacking up for S1 set collection rewards, maybe. Yeah, that's true too. A lot of people, here's the thing though. Let's talk about these moments that popped, the older moments from S1 that popped. So you got the Strickland Rare. Let's take a look at that. Strickland Rare popped, let's see where it was before the challenge. Strickland Rare. Challenge was announced the 31st. Was it the 31st, right? I believe it was the 31st. Yeah, so Strickland was around 20-something bucks. And he is now, went up to 30s. Challenge ended the 3rd, I think. So Strickland pop, people recompleting those sets. He's back up to 33. Yep, that's another interesting one. Morono. Morono's a tough one we'll talk about for the rare set as well. So Morono's sitting at 79 bucks. He only 173 out there now. This is a pretty nasty bottleneck for the rares. So yeah, pretty nasty bottleneck. So they did use, this was the bottleneck for the rares, and they used it in a burn challenge, which we've never seen before. Which is, yeah, Morono's going to be the hard one. If you lost to Morono, there's not many out there left, and it's going to shoot up too here. pretty soon. And then another one is the Makachev fandom. So this bad boy popped big time. Where is he at? The 31st. Yeah, he was sitting in the 20s. Now he's almost $40 after the challenge. So moments are getting played, guys. And it's nice to see some people, whether you're completing the challenges and getting a sick reward that you're really a fan of. Rewards being like, let's give some examples here. Some recent nasty rewards we got. Dustin Poirier's epic. Even though he lost to Makachev, I mean, him knocking out Conor McGregor, 117 min count. It's there. It's there, you know? So there's definitely been some rewarding challenges that we've had. Pretty interesting stuff for sure. But yeah, what else we got? Any other moments I wanted to take a look at? Obviously, the Gaethje, some of the epics for S2 that had to be burned. Armin's an interesting one too. Only 161 Armins out there. Armin's a real interesting one. Obviously, he's not necessarily the bottleneck per se, but he's popping out. He was about 40, 49, something like that. Now, there he goes. He's up to $80. So 58 burned. He's down to 161 min. So he's going to be a pricey one. So interesting to see what's going on these days, guys. Pretty wild stuff in the strike world. Unprecedented territory, as I said, but would be nice to get some updates though, or some, some news. What's going on? Anything planned? Any updates to the website? So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I know people are trying to complete these sets before the end of the quarter. So I did do some research yesterday just to double check on the rewards. So in Q1, we did not get any rewards for S2. So they tend to hold true to that. We're going to reward only completed sets. So if you're looking at making sure you have stuff completed, you want to make sure your S0 commons, S0 champs are complete. And then you also, for S1, want to make sure you have your commons, your fandoms, your rares complete, as well as your champions for S1 before the end of the month. I would assume that snapshot's probably coming the end of the week of June. I don't know exactly when. Nobody said nothing. That's why I said it's nice to have some communication from time to time, just so collectors can have an idea what to expect and when to expect it. Would be nice to have an office hours to kind of go over some stuff that's maybe on the horizon coming up, updates to the site, challenge builder, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So marketplace is looking decent. Much better than it has in the past, most definitely. So hopefully they keep putting out these decent challenges that have been producing some solid rewards lately. In regards to the rewards, outstanding rewards that were missing: Caio Baralho out of 496, Derek Lewis out of 129, Islam's champion, it's going to be automatically minted to 75, but we had 72 people complete it. And lastly, we had Chaos Williams uncommon. I think like only 500 people, only was about 500 completions. So Strike's going to be holding on to about 500 of those. So we're still waiting on those 4 moments. Obviously, the last 2 that I mentioned, we just finished that challenge on Tuesday, but the Derek Lewis and Caio, we have been waiting for a little while, but hopefully with Alex saying next week, it holds true, and we'll get them next week and we'll see how they do. Especially Derek Lewis. It's another one of those very low minted epics. So it should be interesting to see where he's at. Well, that's it for the marketplace. real quick, let's talk about The Ultimate Fighter. Anybody watch Tough this week? I watched it. It wasn't too bad. Obviously, first day picking the fighters, so on and so forth. Doesn't look like there's too much animosity between our two coaches here. Obviously, they've probably been around each other long enough here, fighting for the third time after the season ends. But yeah, it is good fun. It's a nice change up, I think, to the Contender series. I'm not sure which one I like better. We'll see. We'll see. Sometimes Tough's better. Sometimes Contender series is better. Last season with Connor and Chandler, a little rough because Connor was like MIA most of the season. But but uh but yeah, the a couple things that came out of the first episode was Valentina's no water during practice. So a lot of people were like, "Oh, she's crazy," and then the other people were like, "Ain't nothing." And then you got other people like, "I trained during Ramadan," So it's like, come on, like it is what it is. Like champion mindset's champion mindset. It works for her. She's a champ. I mean, it is what it is, bro. I respect it. I respect it. So they have featherweights and middleweights on the fight this on the show this year fighting, and I guess yeah, Alexa stole a couple of um, Valentina's guys that she trains with at Tiger Muay Thai or something, I guess. So stole a couple of those, but she did pick Guillermo Torres, who is Mexican fighter. He was her first pick, I believe, and I think he lost, bro. Yeah, he did lose. Yeah, but I was looking. He was one of the older guys on the show, so he was in his like mid 30s, I think, or like 35, 37, something like that. And he was going up against this young buck, and Rhodes. He was pretty. I'd say he's pretty good size, bro, for that division for 145, and he like to fight a guy who was primarily a grappler, and he was holding his own in the grappling positions. I think this guy's a problem, and he was piecing him up on the feet. So that's why a lot of the grappling exchanges happened. And yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by Rose. Obviously, we didn't get a KO, knockout, or anything like that, but it was a pretty competitive fight. But I wouldn't say. I mean, it was pretty competitive, but when it mattered most, Rhodes did the most damage and took care of business. It did go 3 rounds, so they did need a third round for it. But Rody Rhodes got it done. And next week we got the middleweights fighting. Shamid Khan Magomedov versus Omran Chaban. So should be warming up. First episode's always a little light with they pick the fighters and all that good stuff. So we should be getting into some nitty gritty stuff next week, seeing how the guys are in the house. And yeah, looked like Mimo gassed in the third because the grappling. Yep, yeah, and it was surprising to me because he was supposed to be the better grappler in the contest too, or that's at least what they were trying to portray on the show. Like that's where his specialty was. So he did seem to gas out towards the end, but it was a tough fight. It was a tough fight for both guys. Solid episode number 1. Looking forward to next week's episode on Tuesday. All right. With that said, we're going to get into this fight card. Before we get into the fight card, TFSPs are in the chat. The TFSPs are in the chat. Let's last call for these TFSPs. He was an Olympic wrestler. Yeah. I thought I heard something about him having some kind of really good credentials. But yeah, Rody came through. TFSP's in the chat before we run this. All righty. I think I got everybody in here. Big Well. Richard Hart. All right. Good luck, everybody. First fandom going to Bada bing, bada boom. Rios. Oh my God. These guys never stop winning, bro. It's insane. 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 Rios got the fandom. All right, we're gonna run one more before at the end of the show. We'll do KFC in the chat. KFC in the chat to celebrate the Louisville card at KFC Yum Center. KFC in the chat. Let's get it. Congrats, Rios. Man's always winning, bro. Always winning. Late, especially lately. He must have tapped in with Mr. Perez. Must have tapped in with him. He got the secrets. There it is. Yep. Love to see it. Love to see it. All right. KFC's coming through. Cool, cool, cool. Let that run. Fight night today. So I'm going through the main card only. Let me get rid of some of these. All right. So main card starts off. Baeza versus Soriano. So interesting fight. Both guys coming off a little bit of a skid. Odds do favor Baeza a little bit. I think that is not bad. I think they favor him just because of his height and reach advantage, right? Soriano is coming off of typically all his fights in the UFC have been at middleweight. He's coming down to welterweight for his first fight at welterweight. He made weight, no problem. So it'll be interesting to see because he has put people out in the welterweight or in the middleweight division. He has KO'd people. So that power should come down with him to 170. And I'm kind of leaning on Soriano here. I think he's gonna land the heavier shots. On average, both guys, typically like to stand up and fight. I'm gonna favor the power here with Soriano, and I like him as a dog getting it done against Mr. Baeza to start us off for the main card. Next up, Mr. Julian Marquez versus Zachary Reese. So this is going to be an interesting fight, man. Marquez has had, obviously, he's a big fan of UFC Strike, or the Strike guys love him. Met him myself at UFC 277 in Dallas, Texas. Very cool guy. Had a rough patch, man. Had a rough patch the last few fights. We take a look at it. I think he's coming off of 2 KO losses. Yeah. Won the G-Rod first round, and then the second round KO'd Marc Andre. So it's a little tough. And he's not that active either. So that's another thing that concerns me with my boy Marquez, man. He doesn't fight too often. So his last fight was a year and 3 months ago. And then before that was about the same, a year and 3 months before that. So he's not the most active dude. He was active in 2021. He had a couple fights there back to back. But yeah, he hasn't been too active, man. Hasn't been too active. So hopefully he's been in the lab, putting it together, working. You know what I'm saying? But Zach Reese, on the other hand, it's pretty close regards to the odds. Reese has been in let's see. Yeah, lost to Cody Brundage. That was the slam KO. That was his last KO. Big step up in competition, though, from what he's faced before, and he was coming off the Contender Series. So his first fight was against somebody like Cody Brundage, and he got slam KO'd. Could have been a fluke, but he's definitely been way more active, having like 4 fights last year alone. So pretty nuts. Last fight was about 6 months ago, so he's active, guys. He's really active. So it's going to be interesting to see. Interesting to see. I mean, if I'm a gambling man, I might go with the younger dude with the larger reach. Both guys like to stand and bang. This guy threatens to sub pretty well. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. 6-1, so I think dogs are going to be barking today. 4 minutes total cage time. Yeah, it's pretty wild, right? Pretty wild. Dogs are going to be barking. Yeah, I hate to say it, but I'm liking Reese, man. I'm liking Reese barking. 2 dogs to start us off. 2 dogs to start us off. But we become to a very, very sudden halt on the dogs barking. When we hit this matchup right here, I think Bruno gets this done easily. Even though I like Dustin, he's a cool dude. He's got some good takes on Twitter and stuff, but tough matchup against Bruno, who I feel, even though Bruno has height and reach disadvantage, I just feel overall, all around, he's the overall better mixed martial artist wherever this fight goes. But standing, he'll use kicks and stuff to slow down Dustin, get in there, make it a war and put the guy out, or he could take him down, ground and pound him, submit him. He's got it all. He's got it all. I think Bruno definitely gets this one done though, and probably by finish, in my opinion. All right, all right. Raul Rosas versus Ricky Tercios rematch. Well, rematch in the making, rebooking. So Rosas got sick the last time these guys were supposed to fight. Pulled out of the fight the day of. This is the rescheduled bout here. So I'm glad that they actually got this one back on the books. And I honestly feel like Rosas will probably get it done, man. He looked pretty good at the weigh-ins and all that stuff. Looking healthy, you know what I'm saying? And the problem with Ricky is like he has a really bad takedown defense. And against somebody like Rosas, I think he's gonna keep shooting, man. He's gonna keep shooting. If he takes you down, he's gonna keep shooting. And Ricky has shown that he gets shot on and gets taken down on a lot. Real question is gonna be how's Rosas's control. If he's gonna be able to control Ricky, because Ricky is a little bit sneaky, slippery down there. He could squirm out of the positions and get back to the feet, but ultimately he usually ends up getting taken back down again. But he's a good scrambler and he gets back up. So that's going to be his big thing. But I do think Rosas will probably win, if not by control time, but by finding some kind of submission and some kind of weird scramble as Ricky's trying to get out. So the kid gets it done, gets back on track in the W column. All right, all right. Dominic Reyes versus Dustin Jacoby. Very interesting fight. A couple lines here to look at. So, age pretty much the same. Height, reach pretty much identical. All the stuff almost identical. These guys are literally, if you look at their stats, like you could pretty much be looking at the same dude across from each other. Jacoby, obviously being former Glory kickboxer, he's mainly a kickboxing dude, likes to stand and bang. So does Dominic Reyes. One thing though, a lot of people that the odds are favoring Dustin Jacoby really heavily based on his activity. I think Dominic Reyes, obviously not the most active dude, hasn't fought in a long time. Last fight was November 12th, 2022. KO loss to Ryan Spann. Coming off 3 KO losses, real bad, nasty ones after that John Jones loss. So Dom took some time off, but you never know. You never know. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I think anybody has a puncher's chance in this division. And one thing that I do notice really bad about Dustin Jacoby is he has a hard time against southpaws, and the southpaws typically land lefts on him a lot or heavily. Azamat and Roundtree were two, if you look at those two fights where he lost, and Menafield cracked him a couple times with the left too, but southpaws really have good success against Dustin. And Reyes is himself a southpaw and has a sniper for a left-hand jab. So I think he has a chance. He has a chance, bro. Everybody has a puncher's chance. And if I'm a gambling man, I think Reyes barks, bro. I think Reyes is barking today. And I just I like his left hand versus Dustin's defense. I really do. And I think he'll get it done. Bounce back. By decision, I don't see Reyes making it through all 3 rounds. Not with the ring rust he has. I don't know, man. 3 rounds is nothing. He's been 5 rounds with Jones. The guy was a college football player, athlete, growing up. I don't think the gas tank's too much of the issue with him. But it's going to be interesting to see how he's been, what he's been doing the last couple years. He's been in the lab. We might come out and see a completely different Dominic Reyes. We just don't know. But southpaw versus orthodox, Jacoby has such a hard time with the southpaws, bro. Look up the fights. But it could be a war. It could be a war. So I'm leaning on the dog. I'm leaning on Reyes, but should be a fun one. Should be a fun one. Oh, main event. Straight pick'em, guys. Straight pick'em here. Look at this. Cannonier plus 105. Imavov minus 125. So, obviously, we all know Cannonier can crack. Has the reach advantage by 2.5 inches on Imavov, despite Imavov being the taller fighter. Do have a huge age difference in this fight, but Cannonier is one of those guys that is kind of like Yoel Ramiro, So he's one of those genetic freaks, athletic freaks. But yeah, it's interesting to see because everybody's wondering exactly. Jared should win, just waiting for Father Time to catch him on one of these days. Yeah, that's the thing, right? When's Father Time going to catch this man? Well, he looks good, bro. He looks good. He looked really good against Vittori. But yeah, that shit's pretty wild, right? 4-inch height advantage, but 2.5-inch reach disadvantage. Pretty insane. Pretty insane. But we all know Cannonier's got that power, man. He's good all around. Imavov's pretty good all around too. I anticipate a lot of kicks here in this fight. I think these guys are going to be kicking the shit out of each other a lot in their legs, body kicks. A lot of that stuff's going to be coming. But yeah, it's a tough fight to call. You want to it's tough. It's tough for me. Cannonier being the plus money, kind of like it, but Imavov is pretty good. Imavov is pretty good. And if you look, numbers are pretty much identical. Granted, this guy has a much smaller sample size compared to Jared Cannonier. But yeah, when in doubt, this is correct. When in doubt, go with the OV. When in doubt, go with the OV. But yeah, I think Imavov will probably get it done. I think he's just going to be a little bit faster than Jared because they're similar fighters. Doesn't mean Jared can't catch him. But one thing I do know is Cannonier definitely can go 5 rounds. I don't know if Imavov can go 5 rounds. That's the big question mark here. So if this fight starts going like 3rd, 4th, 5th round, this guy might start gassing. And that's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if Cannonier edges out maybe a late decision victory or finds a finish maybe at the end of the fight. I don't know. Because we know he can go 5 rounds, but also you gotta think about when's Father Time gonna catch this guy. It's a tough fight, tough fight. But I think Imavov will probably get it done. I think he'll get it done. This might be one that you want to live bet. Personally, if you were trying to bet on it, I wouldn't take the money lines on this, but I would live bet this bad boy maybe after the 1st, 2nd round. See how they're looking. If Imavov looks like he's slowing down, slam that cannon. Yeah, no. But I'm gonna, if I had to pick one, I'm going Imavov for the dub. But that's the main card, guys. Some good fights tonight. A couple prelims for us to take a look at. Castaneda versus Daniel Marco should be a banger. That's the 4th fight of the night. What else we got? Stamen Lapalus could be interesting. Could be an interesting fight. Could go very one-sided or could be a war. So it'll be interesting to see that one. Could be one-sided, could be a war. Castaneda Marcos is a fun one. Katona's the biggest favorite on the card. Hooray. Radke Prates should be fun. Radke always comes to bang, so should be a fun one. And Moises Klein should be a very, very, very tough grappling match here, I think. These guys will be in a lot of grappling exchanges, clinching a lot. Should be interesting. Should be interesting card nonetheless. I know Strike has a few people down there at in Louisville. They're going to be watching the fights tonight, so should be a good one. It was weird though; they didn't have no ceremonial weigh-ins for Louisville. Kind of weird, especially on they haven't been there in God knows how many years, right? I think it's the 2nd time they've come to Louisville in the history of the UFC, and no ceremonial weigh-ins. It's kind of gypped those fans, I think. But who knows what was happening at the stadium or if something was going down, concert, who knows, right? But that's pretty much it. Like I said, today was going to be a bit of a short one. Nothing too crazy. We got the TFSP merch shop is up. Link is in Discord. T-shirt and the hoodie are for sale. If you haven't gotten them already, go holler at those. They're only going to be available till the end of the month, and then they will be gone. And then we'll probably maybe do another redesign. I might do a redesign. Might do different designs. Might do something surrounding a fight card. Big fight card maybe. But yeah, it's only going to be till the end of the month. And then those bad boys will be gone. But last one to give away. KFC in the chat. KFC in the chat. This is for the last fandom. Rios got the first one. I wonder who's going to get this one. Probably a Perez. Maybe. Let's see him. There he is. There he is. Mr. Perez going to get it. See those KFCs come through. All right. Numbers not really moving too much. Calling it now. Trey wins the KFC one. All right. There we go. We got one more. All right. We're going to run this bad boy. Good luck, everybody. Here we go. Here we go. Big whale. Big whale. Big whale wins the fandom. Congratulations, Big whale. Nice, nice. It wasn't one of the usual suspects. Dope, dope, dope. Well, all right, that's pretty much it for today. Don't forget, everybody, pick'ems, raffle, strike pick'ems, community challenges, all that good stuff going on this weekend. Don't forget to get your, your raffle entries in. 1 week left for the raffle. And pretty much, oh, the whale wants to rerun it. Hold up. Hold up. Draw again. We're drawing it again. Boom. We're rerunning it. Big whale reran it. Winner is C-Dub. Congrats, C-Dub. C-Dub won the reroll. Congratulations, bro. Yep. Don't forget poker. Strike poker starts in like an hour or so. Pick'ems, all that good stuff. And yeah, next week we'll be announcing the winner of the champ raffle. And yeah, that's pretty much it, y'all. Till next time, I am out. Peace.